Hello, everyone. Welcome to Science, Technology, and Society. My name is Sergio Del and welcome to this asynchronous session for this week. Okay, so hello, everyone from the Georgie Ilagan International Schools, the Georgie Ilagan International Management School, the Georgie Ilagan College of Business and Tourism, and the Institute of International Culinary and Hospitality Entrepreneurship, or ICHEF. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us in this live YouTube video. We are very much live here. Um, hope everyone is doing so well at their homes. So yes, we are so much excited for this new lesson for this week. So it is actually a continuation of our discussion on the introduction to science, technology, and society studies. So for this week, we are into our lesson on, last week we had introduced you to our lesson all about uh, historical antecedents uh, when it comes to science, technology, and society, in which social considerations change the course of science and technology. So for this week, we are discussing about science and technology in your life. So allow me to share the screens for you. So I hope everyone is live on our YouTube channel. If you are watching us live on our YouTube channel, you can please put your name on the group chat so we can recognize you today. Okay, so again, this is our second week for STS, or Science, Technology, and Society. Again, if you are watching us live, please don't forget there is that chat box over there. Please input your name so I can record your attendance. All right, so this is our second week. We are still on the introduction to STS, and specifically, we will be discussing on science, technology in your life. So what does science and technology why is science and technology significant in your life as students? So in this discussion, in this video, we will be um, connecting science and technology to your daily living, and let's give some historical perspective on how science and technology contributed to the improvement of the lives of everyday people. We're still in our first module, so we're achieving these objectives: discuss and explain the interactions between S&T, or science, technology, and society throughout history. Discuss the importance of how scientific and technological developments affect the society and the environment, and identify paradigm shifts in history. So again, we're still looking at how do we introduce you again to science and technology and how it relates to society, and discuss some important aspects. And through this also, we are looking also at that point na titingnan natin yung mga nakasanayan na natin before when we were in maybe in elementary or junior high or senior high. What now is your perspective? How do we look at what we have investigated before in our lens, in the lens of a college or tertiary student, no? So doon tayo nagfo-focus. So um, right now we are reminding you of our formative assessment, your individual activity. For those who are just into our class, we are already doing our formative assessment. Um, we are investigating the growth of plants. No, so this is one of your projects for the prelim term, no? Your individual home-based experiment, which is plant growing. So we have required this um, as your output in your analysis, or this is help which will help you analyze your views of science and technology for this particular home-based experiment. So we have 20 we are requiring 20 to 30 seeds of mungo or Vigna radiata, if you know the scientific name, just to be sure, if you're really sure about your knowledge of science. Again, that's the scientific name of the mung beans or mungo, no? Vigna radiata. You can also substitute mungo if there's no available mungo in your area. You can use small seeds, other small seeds that can grow in a short amount of time, or you can also use plant seedlings. It's okay. So you can also use those mga flowering plants or the vegetables, as long as the monitoring of these plants can be done within the week, so you can already create an output out of that. So you can use tin cans or plastic containers, as long as it has holes in the bottom, wherein we can once you water your plants, hindi nababasa yung soil. So again, you can one one material is garden soil. You put garden soil in the tin cans. Then also we require you to use a cardboard box or any box that can cover up that plant B, which I will show you the instructions in a short while. Okay, so again, this is part of your assessment of the for the prelim period. This is your individual activity. Okay, so once you have your mungo, so plant at least 10 seeds in can A or container. You will label A. So make sure it has holes. Okay. So plant the seeds in A and also plant 10 seeds in B, at least 10 seeds. No? So label that can letter B. So make sure you have holes in the bottom of the can. So at least meron kayong point of reference, again, A and B. And they have the same conditions, no? So yun. Okay, next, for the next 3 days, once you have planted or put your mungo in the soil, water both cans for 3 days. Again, this is quite a chore for some, but again, this is something that you should do as part of your observations. Again, this might look like a elementary school project at least, but this time I want you to use your skills now, use your creative skills in analyzing and pointing out your observations, no, which I will mention in the last part, no. So again, water both cans. I said this will take a week or so to fully understand what's gonna happen there. So make sure you just put enough water. If say you have planted the seeds in like say a can of say sardines, like a 125 or 130 gram can. So maybe just ano lang, more or less like one half or one third cup of water is enough, no, just to soak up the soil, no, and allow the seeds to, the term germinate, no. So allow the seeds to germinate to be able to implant roots into the soil, no. Okay, make sure that you water those two cans A and B on the first 3 days of your conduction of the experiment, no. So ganon, ha. Make sure that you have your water properly. On the third day, after 3 days, um, you place letter A in the sunlight. Um, for those who are living in apartments or condominiums, I understand this could be like a very restrictive thing for you. Um, you may you can use like the windowsill if your apartment. You can use like the window part of your condo unit or in your apartment, no, um, just make sure that if the can is too big for your windowsill, yung parang edge ng bintana ninyo, um, use a table, or if there is a table near the window, place it as long as it is the plant itself is exposed to sunlight. If in case no you are able to expose something, or there is sunlight going through your apartment unit or condominium unit. Okay, just for reference lang, no, as long as it's exposed to light and enough air, no, para ma-complete yung, they call it germination, no. So as long as sunlight can reach the plant, it's good. Okay, if you have any questions about or any concerns about this step, for some people na baka medyo restrictive ito or medyo difficult sa kanila maglagay ng mga ganyang plants if they live in such areas, no, so let me know. Okay, so we can find some solutions on that. Okay, so if you have concerns, comment below or message me on MS Teams. Okay, how about letter B? So A, exposed to sunlight. How about B? Place B in a box. You can put it in a box as long as it's closed, sealed tight. If you don't have a cardboard box, another plastic container, larger plastic container can be good also, as long as if you maybe like a microwave tray, those trays na ginagawang pang ano sa microwave, pangluto sa microwave. Those big containers, you can place the can there and then cover it, and maybe like put some cover para hindi siya like abutan talaga ng ilaw or something like that. So you can do that, but if you those who have cardboard boxes, that you can place it to do it, no, so place it in a cardboard box. Okay, for again plastic containers, yung parang yung parang translucent, or yung parang wala talagang light or color talaga, hindi siya yung clear, no. Next, yeah. So for the next 3 days, again, I said this would last for a week or so. Observe the plants in each of these cans in 3 days. No? So A and B, you will usually already know the outcome already. Now, for some of you, you might already know the outcome of these. But on on the next 3 days, you do know the outcome. But in this time, as college students already, yeah, this looks like a normal like experiment about it. Oh, uh, the munggo is growing in the sunlight, and how about the you cover it, ay namatay, or they die or shrivel or whatever. You know already the outcome, but this time, as a college student, you as revisiting the definition of science, or revisiting the scientific method. This is the time, this is your moment to be able to figure out what is your hypothesis. What is your hypothesis of this? No, remember, you planted A and you planted in B. You already know the hypothesis. A will have this outcome. B will have this outcome. Now you will have to do a comparison. Again, this is something now new for you, diba? So this is something that you should do through a vlog or blog, no? So that's for your observation. Okay. So this is where you go to the next step, wherein you will blog or vlog your outcomes. So your guide question for your output for that particular experiment with the Mongo and everything is that what can you conclude? Your conclusion from the results of your experiment. Ganun lang, ganun lang kasimple. So for those, you have two options to do this output. First, option one is to make minimum 250 word essay. Again, you have two options. You can do an essay using Microsoft Word, WordPress, or Wix, whatever is convenient for you. Or second, create a 1 to 2 minute video using apps like TikTok or your native app of your camera phone. Depende na. But one thing I need from you is to include the pictures of the plants and their progress. So again, this is so simple for you. A minimum 250 word essay. It's just like a parang you answer a question and an essay form and that's it. No, but for the purposes also of those who will choose to use TikTok or other apps, again, state your reasons, state your conclusion, state what you have found out about this particular experiment. This is the way you. This is one of the ways you can document your experiments and your qualitative research, quantitative research. Remember, you are students who are about to or maybe already conducting research already. So this is the time that you practice your somewhat scientific method of investigating things. Remember, no? So the deadline for this output is the next synchronous meeting. No, um, again, I require you to either make a blog, just type in your Microsoft Word, or do a video using TikTok. No? Or Flipgrid is also okay as long as you share me the link of your Flipgrid. No, yeah. So again, that would be your experiment for this week for this particular period. All right, plant growing. Mga plantito at plantita dyan. No? Okay, so let me now proceed to what we'll be expecting for this lesson this morning. Okay, after studying this particular module, particular part of the module, you should be able to um, differentiate science from technology, differentiate the definitions, relate science, technology, and society, give examples of recent developments, and infer how science and technology can be used for the benefit of humanity. Now, this is to introduce you later on when we delve into the second module, which is all about the science, technology, society, and the human condition. We'll be tackling how does it um, how does technology become beneficial or it can be derogatory or it can be damaging to the people, to the humanity, and to the society. Okay, so allow me now to uh, turn you over to our virtual instructor for this week. Hello, Miguel.
Hello everyone. My name is Miguel, one of your virtual instructors. Welcome back to Science, Technology, and Society of the JIB International Schools. This week, we are introducing you to Science and Technology in Your Life, the second lesson under the first module, Introduction to Science, Technology, and Society Studies. Last week, we defined science and technology, reviewed the three main branches of science. We review what is the scientific method, identify the steps of the scientific method, and the scientists that contribute to the study of the things around us. In this presentation, we differentiate science from technology, relate science, technology, and society, give examples of recent developments in science and technology, and infer how science and technology can be used for the benefit of humanity.
Okay, thanks, Miguel, for your introduction. No, so this is Miguel, our one of our virtual instructors for this lesson. So I'm so excited to meet these virtual and wonderful virtual instructors for our courses. No, so thank you, Miguel. We'll be getting you back later. So let's go.
Hello.
Okay, so allow us to introduce to you how important is science to everyday life. And let's give an analogy. Let's hear from Miguel.
Can you imagine how your life would be if there were no electricity? What if there were no jeepneys or buses for you to ride on? Electricity and means of transportation are just some of the products of science and technology. Because of developments in science and technology, people have better means of communication and transportation, more comfortable lives, and eat more nourishing food. Many lives have been saved by medical breakthroughs. Can you think of some inventions which have made your life better?
Okay, so yes, science and everyday life. Can you imagine that we don't have any electricity at home? Ano kaya yan? Or what if there were no jeepneys, there were no buses? Can you still live a comfortable life? Okay, that's the question. So this is where we um, relate ourselves to science and technology because of these technological breakthroughs, and we will delve into that through this discussion with our virtual instructor. So let's move on. Okay. So how do how do we illustrate our relationship with technology, science and technology in particular? And it's one of the best examples of technological breakthroughs are computers. Let's hear from Miguel.
The computer was invented to make our tasks easier. The computer has many uses. This presentation that you are now watching was made with the help of a computer. The newspapers and magazines that you read are also made with the help of computers. Computers perform tasks faster. Have you ever tried using a calculator? Computers are many times as fast as calculators. Some computers have very special uses. Some are used to look inside the human body. They can detect injuries or diseases of the heart and other organs.
Okay, so yeah, okay. Computers. Remember, I'm a computer science graduate, and I have been exposed to computers ever since. No, what what do we learn from computers anyway? Remember, computers are like were products of decades of technological development. And through research and development, we are able to see how computers now uh, essentially help us in everyday living. No, um, if you just compare it to a calculator, for example, no, even like a cycle like a TI 84, no, um, computers have uh, became essential to our living. Maybe calculate numbers or forming graphs like on a TI 84, no, or finding diseases, no, for the use of technology like you see there, CAT scans, no, CAT scans, X-rays, no. Through the use of computers, we're able to uh, be able to create such analysis of these injuries or body organs, see what happens inside our body. Through the use of technology, we're able to achieve those goals. Uh, so let's move on to our next slide now. So remember the definition of science. I know a lot of you have been uh, reviewing the slides from last week. Again, science is again a systematized body of knowledge covering truths and facts. So, what's more about science? Let's hear from Miguel.
Can you still recall what science is? Science is a systematized body of knowledge based on facts gathered through observation and experimentation. Scientists learn and discover new knowledge. This knowledge is then used by other people to create useful materials. This is what technology is.
Okay, so remember the way we get facts through observation and experimentation. Through the use of those methods, we can come up with solutions. So we find the solutions can come into a form of a particular thing. No, we call it technology. So what is technology? So let us give you the definition, a simple, very basic definition of technology. It is an applied science. Okay, from last week's synchronous meeting, we told you that very short definition. Technology is just an applied science. You just apply what you have observed, what you have gathered, and that's it. You created technology. So, uh, how about why do we come up with this word technology? So the etymology of this one, it comes from the word technologia, which means a systematic treatment of an art. So remember, if you have art classes in your college, if you have art appreciation, you've taken art appreciation, you have found out that art is create a creation of the mind, right? So when you treat that creation of the mind through a systematic process, which we call the scientific method, you have technology. All right. So what can we find in technology? So let's talk about our previous person, which we find out, which was Thomas Alva Edison. If you remember from our past meetings, we have already mentioned this inventor. So what's his relation to these two, Michael Faraday and Joseph Henry? Let's hear from Miguel.
Technology is applied science. Thomas Alva Edison based his invention of the incandescent light bulb on findings on electricity. Among the first scientists to study electricity comprehensively were Michael Faraday and Joseph Henry.
Okay, so that's right. So remember the invention of Thomas Alva Edison, which is the electric incandescent bulb. You know that. So how did he come up with that particular invention? So remember electricity. If you have remembered the concept of electricity way back in junior high or senior high, um, you have these particular persons mentioned in that lesson about electricity in your physics class, maybe. Michael Faraday and Joseph Henry. These two were the pioneers in uh, the study of electricity. No, the the basic term of electricity, the basic form of electricity, and we can observe that Thomas Edison was able to um, create the electric light bulb through the studies of Faraday and Joseph Henry. Okay, so that could be reasons why we are able to produce light through electricity, and that's a good thing. Let's go to the next slide. So, how does really technology help us, and what's the role of these technological innovations, as they say? Let's hear from him. Let's hear from Sir Miguel.
What are the uses of technology? Technology helps produce medicine, preserve food, and develop new sources of energy. The computer is just one of the products of technology. Can you name other products that come from technology? Some of them are shown below. Many lives have been saved because of modern technology. Today, kidney stones can be removed without patients having to go through painful surgeries. Laser technology is used in these operations.
Okay, so we can mention some of these these drawings shown on the screen. Say the jet fighter or the jet planes, um, electric trains, or these rail type transportation, MRIs or CAT scans, the telephone, mobile phones. All of these are products of technology. And one particular example mentioned earlier is the non-invasive surgery of the removal of kidney stones, if you have heard that, no? So that's one technological breakthrough, and it can promote the promotion of human life, no? The making lives more comfortable. It's actually like the goal of technology, I guess, no? And let's see. So let's delve back into the history of technology, since we are also um, see these changes, these paradigm shifts in history, and let's see uh, how do we relate science and technology through the lens of history. historical uh, paradigm shifts. Let's see what Miguel has to say about the ancient times.
During the early days, science and technology were separated from each other. Science was the domain of philosophers, while technology was the domain of tanners, millers, and silversmiths.
Okay, so yes, if you read some thoughts on philosophy, it's basically science, an investigation. It was during the ancient times, science was just really reserved for the philosophers, those in the intellectuals, and then the technology is more or less reserved for these labor workers, the tanners, the sailors, the fishermen, the craftsmen. They are more focused on the technology. uh, Millers, farmers, they are on to the technology. Okay, so when did science and technology like merge together? Let's move on to another shift in history. In the 13th century, Miguel.
In the 13th century, science and technology became linked with each other, thanks to Roger Bacon, an English philosopher. His emphasis on the importance of mathematics and experimentation laid the foundation for modern science and its practical application. As more and more scientific studies were done, science and technology became more and more closely related.
Okay, for the 13th century in England, we have seen um, how people living through the Middle Ages were able to not only um, make science as part of their philosophy, but also create products through the use of science. And we have seen the merging of science and technology. For these philosophers who were able to find out that you can produce technology even if you just practice your science, and you can create an experiment, do your inventions and all of that. So these people became enlightened with the way science works, no? And even in that particular period in the 13th century. Okay, so let's go to the 19th century, the 1800s, wherein we find how the Industrial Revolution were, ab- were able to catapult the many technological aspects or technological products that we see now and experience today. Okay, we're showing you pictures of inventors and these people, pointing to these people studying certain stuff. Let's hear from Miguel.
In the 19th century, a lot of new gadgets were invented because of the explosion of scientific knowledge. Alexander Graham Bell was inspired to invent the telephone when he read the work of German physicist Hermann von Helmholtz. Helmholtz made a study on sound waves. Guglielmo Marconi invented the telegraph. He based his invention on the works of Heinrich Rudolf Hertz and James Clerk Maxwell, physicists who studied electromagnetic waves.
Okay, so you've seen in maybe in your previous science lessons that that Alexander Graham Bell invented the telephone, and the telegraph was first invented by Guglielmo Marconi. But how did they end up with these inventions, these technologies that we have today? It's actually they base on the research of other or previous researchers. Say, for example, Alexander Graham Bell. He took his inspiration to create the telephone through the studies of sound waves by Hermann von Helmholtz, who studied the way sound travels through the air. Okay, and through that, Alexander Graham Bell was able to produce a product, a piece of technology that allows sound waves that pass through a particular line, a line made of a material called copper, copper wires. through wires that was never thought of before. No, and it was through the study of sound waves that Alexander Graham Bell was able to manufacture this particular product that we have nowadays, which is the telephone. Now we move on to Guglielmo Marconi, who invented the telegraph. So he mentions in his papers on his invention, the telegraph, these two people, Heinrich Rudolf Hertz, where we get the measurement hertz, which is the frequency of sound waves, and James Clerk Maxwell, both of these or physicists who studied electromagnetic waves. And we know uh, the early telegraphs on his era, Marconi's era, were made through electromagnetic technology. And that is attributed to these two scientists. And we can now see how technology came to be. It always is a derivative of some particular work of some particular scientist in some particular era. And these inventors take these inspirations in order for them to create these what we now call technological marvels, like the telephone and the telegraph, wired and wireless communication. I hope you're still around and you've got the point of how science and technology came to be. Okay, let's move on. So let's do a discussion online. I don't know if it's possible for you. Um, uh, Mention in the chat box a technological product. Say, for example, cell phones or DVDs or say headphones or the television or the camera. Mention a technological product that you can think of and describe how this particular product makes life more comfortable. Just mention one technological product and say how it makes life more comfortable. Please use the chat box to send your answers or comment in the comment section below. Okay. I have got your full attention. Okay, so let's move on to one particular aspect, technology in agriculture. Farmers, we'll just mention, here in the Philippines, we see these farmers, mga magsasaka, doing their job of planting the crops for our consumption, say for example, rice. How do these farmers benefit from technology? Let's hear from Miguel.
In agriculture, technological developments help improve food production. When seeds are planted, fertilizers are placed in the soil to provide nutrients for the plants. Fertilizers help increase the growth of plants. Irrigation systems help water plants in an easier and faster way. Pesticides are sprayed on plants to ward off insects that may destroy these plants. Fertilizers, irrigation systems, and pesticides are all products of technology that help farmers increase their harvests.
Thank you. So, um, just to give you a mention, again, these technological advancements of farming and agriculture were able to speed up the food production, like irrigation systems, for example, yung mga fertilizers, mga pataba, mga pesticides. No, these create an increased yield of production every time during the harvest season. No, and we we give credit to these farmers who are beneficiaries to technological advancements in agriculture, and we appreciate these people. All right, so I hope everyone has understood well our discussion on technology, and let us continue with these aspects on our next asynchronous video. Okay, so before we will uh, move on to our end of our lesson. Now, again, let's discuss how technology has helped the farmers. Um, that's my second question. Again, if you have again, the first question was, uh, what's what are these um, technological products that you can think of that you can mention, and how did it make life more comfortable? And then now our second question for our online discussion here on our asynchronous video, discuss how technology or technological advancements help farmers. Okay, so expect I expect your answers in the chat box or in the comment section. So quiz number one for those who are watching us live or watching us today on our Microsoft Teams. Please check your Microsoft Teams for your quiz. So please answer quiz number one so we can record your scores. All right, that's it for our video lesson this asynchronous week. So next meeting will uh, discuss positive and negative effects of technology. And let's please continue your observations on your formative assessment, the plant growing blog. Okay, so please continue with your experiment. Okay, so I think that's it. Uh, I thank you for joining us again. I thank you for everyone who are watching this video right now on YouTube. So I hope you appreciated this lesson, and we thank I give thanks uh, to our sponsors. Sponsors. No, we don't have sponsors in this video, but allow me to mention the use uh, videorobot.com and video voicemaker.in. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope you are doing well, and we'll see you on our next video lesson. See you.